trying to just go, oh, individually a good game. Like, we've got to look at where the issues are. And if we play that deep against Brighton next week, we're inviting pressure away from home, we'll get slaughtered. Delo for me gets a 7. 6? I thought Delo was a 7. I love doing the player ratings. 6? I thought Delo was a 7. I really did. I thought that filling in at left back again ain't easy. I thought that, you know, he put a tremendous amount of work in, and again, he was massively part of the press as well. I thought the fullbacks were really important. I said it before the game. Maybe it was subtle to some people. I thought it was obvious, but maybe it wasn't. The amount of work the fullbacks did to support that press was really, really important. And the amount of running you've got to do in that system as a fullback, I think Delo was a 7 for me, because I actually think they were part of the positive press that we were trying to do, whereas Martinez and Maguire were just dropping off a little bit, and I didn't like that. Casemiro for me, it's a difficult one with Casemiro, because I think in the final third, he's a massive threat, and I think in the defensive area, he's a liability. But he grew into the game. He was better in the second half, so I'd probably give him a 7. I nearly went 6.5, but he was involved in a lot in the final third, and that pass to Bruno, that's an assist, and it's a brilliant assist. He can't that pass was just unbelievable, and I think Casemiro at the moment in the final third is really, really good. Defensively, there was a few times where he's just not on the screen tracking back. There was points in the second half, and I'll argue this with anybody. There's a point in the second half where they end up with a 5v2. And the people who are trying to run back, I think, are Mainu and Martinez, and Casemiro's not even there. And that's the problem. We can lie to ourselves, but his legs are gone. And as a number 6, that's going to be problem.
Manchester derby, because for Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, I would imagine it's something like that. I'm not saying Varane's in the right, but, you know, he probably does have a point. Why am I being dropped in a Manchester derby for Johnny Evans is probably a fair thing to ask. How he's reacted to that, you know, you would hope for professionalism. I don't think we saw it tonight. Eric Ten Hag, weak on personal level with players, says Bashir. Why is Varane on the bench? I've done that from Zeus. Who would you put in the lineup for the next 2 games? Says Reckless. And United shouldn't be in a position where this game depends on if they go through. Look at where City and Arsenal is. Mate, we've made a right mess of this group. We're very lucky, Ton, to be still in it. We've made a right mess. Bruno, Eriksen. I mean, to be fair to Eriksen, he did okay. You know, he wasn't part of the problem. He's not a defensive midfielder, but he did okay. Bruno, I'd give a 5 as well. I don't think Bruno had a bad game. I think up until the sending off, Bruno was playing very well, and then he's out of position, running around chasing the ball, which is not his job. I'm sorry, I feel sorry for Højlund and Garnacho. Actually, very good game, works their socks off, says Mike. This team has a lot of character. It's just not happening for us, says AT. And if Aaron Wan-Bissaka gave that hospital pass to Edison, he'd make the same mistake. Ridiculously harsh if you blame the goalkeeper, says Alvito. I still think he's got to deal with it, mate. We've got a ball-playing goalkeeper. I think you've got to deal with that. I'm sorry. It wasn't a great pass, but I still think you've got to deal with it. You don't try and control it. Boot it. If it's a bad ball, boot it. You know? If you're going to try and control it, you better control it. Rashford, I mean, look, I don't even know what to give Rashford here. I very rarely don't have an opinion, and obviously I've had a bad week with being fucking wrongly accused for causing trouble with Rashford, which I haven't. I've always been a big fan of his. I don't even know what to give him. I don't know what to give him. I don't even remember, you know, I don't know what to give Rashford, because I don't think he should have been sent off. But I'll give him a 4.5. Because I don't like the way it's always Anthony's fault. You know, the pile onto Anthony is a disgrace. You'll see it again. Gobiak, Bonglahor will be on about it. You know, apparently Janus was on about it. They'll all be on about it. He's not the problem at Man United, the same as Ten Hag's not. But he didn't play well today. Garnacho, I think 6.5 is fair. Some good, some bad, but he'll get better, more games. I definitely think he should be starting ahead of Rashford. Yeah, I definitely think he should be starting ahead of Rashford, but I think Rashford's got to earn his place now. I think Ten Hag has to send a message. You've got to earn your place now. You don't come back in. Anthony doesn't come back in for Pellistri. Rashford doesn't come back in for Garnacho. You know, you've got to earn your place now. That's what needs to happen, because these lads today have fought for the badge, and they've got as a result. Can't go back to picking players because you think they're better. You've got to earn it now. You know, we're in survival mode. That's what we've got to do. Rasmus was probably
a 6 today. It wasn't a good performance from him. Graveyard shift. It didn't change with Martial. Unfortunately, we're not providing service to the striker, and it will impact on their performance. Palestri was a 7. He came on and made a massive difference. Like, he just came on and gave us a winger. Like, we actually had a winger. And on that goal, it's not just the assist for Bruno, it's the fight and desire to win that ball. You know, he blocks it twice. I think Martial blocks it as well. He was getting in tackles. You know, he's only small, but the physicality's there, the determination's there. He actually came on and gave a shit. I mean, I'd give Palistri man of the match just for effort, but he actually came on and really, you know, Palistri should not be an example to Marcus Rashford and Anthony and Martial and Bruno and Mount. You know, Palistri cost us no money. And Rashford's on 350k a week. Anthony cost 80 million. Mount cost 55 million. And